The arrogant strike. The Orith Dominion struck first. Not with hesitation, not with diplomacy, with arrogance. The frontier colony of Vera 9, barely 2 decades old, had no walls worth speaking of. It was a human settlement of families, engineers, and young cadets, stewed and sent to study planetary development in practice. They raised domes from dust, carved rivers through rock, and spoke of building a new Earth beneath foreign suns. The Orith saw weakness. From orbit, their cruisers rained molten glass across the colony fields. Families were burned alive inside habitats. Schools collapsed in firestorms. An entire generation of settlers was silenced before they could even raise a weapon in defiance. The Orith broadcast their cruelty. They mocked Earth in a dozen alien tongues. See how the mammals squeal? Their children are soft. Their domes are clay. Their soldiers are myths. They plant flowers where warriors should stand. Earth will not answer. Earth cannot answer. And as the colony's last defenses fell, they laughed. But one shuttle escaped, and aboard it sat a boy the Orith mistook for a frightened student. Laughter in the void. The news spread across the stars. The Dominion declared a triumph. Their ministers mocked humanity in the Galactic Council chambers, speaking with oily confidence. Humans are dreamers, not soldiers. They build ships to explore, not conquer. Their colonies are fragile glass houses. Strike them and they shatter. The galaxy is safe from their vengeance, because they have none. And so the galaxy laughed. The Orith feasted. Their broadcasts replayed the massacre in loops, an entertainment for their citizenry. Other empires, quiet rivals of Earth, smiled behind closed doors, relieved that humanity had been put in its place. They thought the silence of Earth was submission. They mistook patience for weakness. And in that silence, they overlooked the boy who had survived. The Heir in disguise. His name was Alec Draven. To the Orith, he was a cadet. To the galaxy, he was a nobody. Just another human teenager assigned to study infrastructure and colony logistics. But the truth ran deeper. Alec Draven was heir to a legacy whispered across Terran war academies. The bloodline of the Warlord of Ceres, the architect of humanity's defense during the First Contact Wars. His grandfather had built the fleets that turned predators into ashes. His father had commanded the Iron March, the war that forced 3 empires to sign peace or perish. And Alec was their shadow, hidden in plain sight, masked as a student. When the Orith killed his classmates, when they burned the schools and domes, they had not slain a child. They had awakened a wolf born of iron blood. The silence breaks. At first, the galaxy thought Earth had gone mute. Weeks passed without retaliation. No fleets moved. No diplomats raged. The Dominion gloated, declaring their strike uncontested. Other species repeated the same words. Humanity has grown soft. The Terrans are civilized now. The age of their warlords is done. But in the shadows of the solar fleets, in the command chambers buried beneath Luna and Mars, orders were whispered. Old protocols were unlocked. Codes sealed for generations were spoken aloud for the first time. And the boy who seemed a student was called to the core. When Alec Draven returned to Earth, he did not return as a victim. He was received by admirals, generals, and strategists. They bent their heads, not to a cadet, but to the heir of a warlord's throne. Across every channel, silence deepened. The stars held their breath. And then, humanity spoke. A single broadcast, short and sharp, cutting across Dominion space. You harmed our children. You will know our answer. The dreadnoughts rise. They came like storms. From the shipyards of Titan, from the forges of Ganymede, from dry docks long thought dormant, dreadnoughts rose, massive vessels whose names had not been spoken aloud since the old wars. The Leviathan class, the Dragon's Spine, the Obsidian Oath. Each one a fortress that could blot out suns, each one carrying enough fire to rewrite maps. Civilian fleets were recalled. Merchant ships became war transports, every slipstream lane that led toward Dominion space filled with the growl of Terran engines. And at their center, standing on the bridge of the flagship Iron Herald, was Alec Draven, not a boy, not a cadet, but commander by right of blood and fury. The galaxy had expected hesitation, diplomacy, restraint. Instead, humanity's silence ended in thunder. The Council trembles. The Galactic Council convened in emergency session. Species that had laughed at humans now begged them to restrain themselves. Orith ambassadors stammered denials, insisting the colony strike had been an unfortunate accident. But human envoys no longer listened. They came in black uniforms, their voices like knives. You laughed, you cheered, you called us weak, now you will watch. The council chamber fell into dread as reports poured in. Terran fleets had crossed the frontier. Dominion outposts had been erased in hours. Starbases that once demanded tribute now hung silent, drifting wrecks surrounded by the glow of burning metal. The age of patience was over. Humanity was in motion. Retribution unleashed. The war began not with battles, but with annihilation. Entire Dominion fleets, gathered to repel humanity, found themselves encircled in minutes. Human dreadnoughts cut through their shields like paper. Rail cannons launched slugs the size of houses, tearing warcruisers in half. Swarms of Terran strike craft fell upon the enemy like locusts, each fighter piloted with a calm ruthlessness alien tacticians could not match. Planetary garrisons burned, orbital cities shattered. The Dominion's proud shipyards, once the jewel of their empire, were cracked apart and left as fields of glowing wreckage. Human boots landed on Orith soil. Armored soldiers, their visors glowing red, marched through streets that had once mocked Terran weakness. Civilians scattered, soldiers surrendered, none of it mattered. The message was clear. Earth had not forgotten war. Earth had only been waiting. And at the tip of every spear and the shadow of every annihilation, Alec Draven's name was spoken. Not as a cadet, not as a boy, but as heir, as Warlord reborn. The galaxy watches in horror. The galaxy had seen wars, countless wars, but never like this. Most species fought for territory, for resources, for politics. Humanity fought for vengeance, cold, endless, absolute. Where the Dominion had laughed, now there was silence. Where they had mocked, now they screamed. Their fleets fled, but humanity pursued without pause. Their leaders begged for talks, but humanity sent no diplomats. Only ships. Other empires, once smug, now trembled. If Earth could unleash such fury for a single colony, what would they do if an empire struck deeper? Whispers spread. They are the nightmare we thought forgotten. Their patience is centuries, their vengeance infinite. We laughed at their student, we awoke their heir. The fall of Dominion. At last, the Terran fleets reached the Dominion capital. The system's suns dimmed beneath the wall of human dreadnoughts. The Dominion's grand fleet, every ship they could muster, arrayed itself in final defense. And it broke. In 3 hours the skis burned. In 6 the planetary shields failed. By the next dawn the Orith Dominion no longer existed as a state. Its cities lay in ruin. Its leaders were ash. Its name was struck from star maps. And at the heart of the storm stood Alec Draven, the boy they had thought a student, the heir they had made a warlord. Aftermath, the whispered fear. When the guns fell silent, the galaxy listened. No treaty was signed, no promises were made. Humanity did not gloat, they did not boast, they did not claim dominion over new territory. They simply withdrew. The fleets returned to Sol, the dreadnoughts sank back into their docks, soldiers marched home. Humanity offered nothing but silence. But that silence was louder than any war cry. In the ruins of the Dominion, survivors whispered, "Never provoke Earth again." In council chambers, ministers dared not mock humanity again. Rival empires tore up plans they had drawn in secret, too afraid of what vengeance might follow. And across the stars, one truth became scripture. Human patience is vast, but their vengeance is infinite.